Good afternoon and welcome to Super Saturday, the 28th. Already today, we've had Wales's women in action in the WXV out in New Zealand, the Men's Rugby World Cup final in Paris this evening, and we're here in Swansea as the Ospreys host Zebre, hoping to bounce back from that opening round defeat. The first time all four Welsh regions have lost on the opening weekend of the season ever. Following an impressive second half comeback, a 4-try bonus point was a deserved consolation prize for the Ospreys against Connacht in Galway. 4 changes for Toby Booth's side for their first run out of the season on home soil this afternoon. Having lost all 18 URC games last season, Zebre almost caused the shock of round 1. A narrow loss to Ulster despite scoring a combined total of 12 tries. A performance that will give them real confidence ahead of their visit to South Wales. The Italians have not won a league match in some 18 months, and you'd have to go back to January 2021 to find their last win on the road. Kick-off at theswansea.com in just over 10 minutes. And towering alongside me, 2 very recognisable faces who need no introduction, Andrew Coombs and Alex Cuthbert. What do you make of the changes?
Yeah, I think it's exciting, isn't it? I think rugby's needed a bit of a change, and I think what it does, it really puts a bit of competition, a bit of onus on the summer tour and the autumn, which then is obviously going to put more onus on the clubs to really develop players.
In particular, the autumn internationals, having a little bit more riding on them, Andrew.
Oh, 100%, yeah. As Alex said there, it's really important to have competitive games where there's something on offer. You want to see your teams competing for medals at the end of the day, and the autumn, from a pundit's point of view and a fan's point of view, it's always been missing something, I think.
But we'll turn our attention now to the second round of the URC, and a busy weekend of rugby awaits. 3 o'clock, well, in Stellenbosch, the Scarlets are looking to bounce back from that opening round defeat to the Bulls. They take on the Stormers at 3 o'clock. And then Leinster, well, they're looking to lay down a marker following their opening day defeat to Glasgow. And then on Sunday, well, 2 sides who threw away handsome leads in round 1. The Dragons go head-to-head with Cardiff in the first Welsh derby of the season. But before we dive into this game at the Swansea.com stadium, let's hear what Ospreys head coach Toby Booth had to say. He's been chatting with Gareth, Rhys, Owen.
Toby, slow start last weekend, but what do you take out the second half performance?
Galway, and in amongst the home team's warm-up today is our man on the ground, Tom Shanklin.
Now, the Ospreys have created 1,000 of these caps in tribute to Justin Tipuric, who won his 200th cap last week against Connacht. The guy's an absolute legend.
Well, it's been a summer of departures, not just players, but also coaches looking to pastures new. Some moving to sunnier climes, such as Richard Hodges, who is now defence coach at Zebre.
Thanks, Rod. And also,
thanks very much, guys. Yeah, well, the kick-off for this game at theswansea.com is moments away, so let's join our commentary team today, James, Hook and Gareth, Rhys, Owen.
Good afternoon, welcome to the Swansea.com. And to think that it was tipping down here a couple of hours ago, 4 seasons in 1 day. Here are your teams. Zebre have gone for a big front 5 internationals, including former skipper Dave Ceci at lock. Flanco, Guido Volpi, spent 3 seasons with the Ospreys. They're led by Licata at number 8. The Argentine halfbacks, Casilla, Priscantelli, do love to attack. They will play. Lukin is very direct at 12. And the back 3, Pani, Bruno, and Jesse are very slick, very sharp, very dangerous. Toby Booth has made 4 changes to the side that lost in Connacht. Just the one new face in the pack. That's Hugh Sutton at lock. Justin Tipuric, keep an eye for those blue hats everywhere here at Swansea.com. He will play his 201st game. Jack Walsh preferred to Owen Williams at 10. Morris comes in midfield. Dom Morris, the Saracen signing. Pace out wide, Max Nagy at full-back. Headline on the bench, Nicky Smith, back from international camp with Wales in the Rugby World Cup. What a special moment for a very special yet humble individual and player, James Hook.
Afternoon, Gareth. Yeah, what a player, Justin Tipuric. 200 games for the Ospreys. Unbelievable achievement.
Big day for Ian Kenny. His debut at this level, the Irishman representing the Scottish RFU. Best of wishes to him.
Good to go. Ready? Ready, guys.
66 tries scored in the URC last weekend. It's a competition where teams want to play. But what will be the pattern for the Ospreys, James Hook? Will they want to play? Because traditionally, Zebre have been a coast-to-coast side.
Yeah, I think the Ospreys, notoriously from the 22, they kick off the field. Don't allow the Zebre back three to come back at you, but I think...
Missed. So the Ospreys are behind. Zebre conceded over 100 tries last season. They've only conceded 2 this afternoon. They've scored 3. Much fun, lot of entertainment, and Zebre are ahead by 90 points to 17.
With Morgan Morris, not a bad start for Zebre, but how do you claw yourself back into the game and break down this Zebre pack?
Well, we knew they were going to come out firing, they always do, and I think we probably were a bit slow off the mark, but when we tried to build in momentum, get on.
Well, what a breathtaking first half of rugby we've had. But sadly, that missed penalty at half-time means that Ospreys going down against Zebre. How frustrating was the opening 5 minutes? But of course, tomorrow is the first Welsh derby of the season. So, Catherine Helleth took a trip up to the Gwent Valleys to catch up with Dragons head coach and local boy Di Flanagan ahead of the big game against Cardiff Rugby. Yes, Di Flanagan, a true man of Gwent, and you can catch up on all the highlights of that one on Scrum 5 tomorrow evening in the company of Tom Shanklin and James Hook at 6 p.m. Or you can also watch the game in its entirety on S4C tomorrow evening at 10 o'clock. Well, the players are back on the field, so let's return to our commentary team now. Former Ospreys and Wales fly half James Hook and Gareth Rhys Owen.
Welcome back. Fair to say, Toby Booth was animated in the dressing rooms at half-time. Missed. 3-point win for the Ospreys. Finally, the Ospreys get a win. They had to fight for it, they had to battle for it. And Zebra's long wait for a URC victory. We'll have to wait another week. Justin Tipuric was outstanding. The Ospreys deserve it. They won by 34 points to 31, James. And I'm delighted to say that the player of the match, Justin Tipuric, is with our man, Tom Shanklin.
I'm with the BKT URC player of the match, Justin Tipuric.
Yeah, it was an enthralling seesaw match for that Ospreys comeback. An important win for them, a bonus point as well to top things off. Plenty of rugby to come, another home game for Connacht as they face stiff opposition today from Glasgow. Then in Stellenbosch, Stormers welcome the Scarlets, the Welsh team hoping to bounce back from that record defeat against the Bulls last weekend. Leinster hoping the loss of Glasgow was a blip ahead of Sharks' visit to the RDS. And then Edinburgh welcome the Lions. Then tomorrow, well, Munster travel to Treviso to take on Benetton. And then the first Welsh derby of the season at Rhodri Parade. Finished with a grandstand second round as Ulster take on the Bulls at Kingspan Stadium. And the Ospreys, well, that makes lovely reading, doesn't it? Although there's only been one game in this second round, a Welsh region on top of the URC standings. Scarlets rock bottom at the moment, and unusually Leinster in 15th. Well, no doubt that'll change somewhat over the coming weeks. Yeah, it was a fascinating game of rugby, and I'll just remind you that the Scarlets are in action right now. If you want to switch over to S4C, they're in Stellenbosch playing against the Stormers. And Scrum 5 Sunday tomorrow at 6 p.m. on BBC 2 Wales. A roundup of all the weekend's action. And then next weekend, we've got an interesting one for you. Ospreys taking on the Sharks, and they'll be making the move down the M4 for the first URC game ever to be played at the Twickenham Stoop. Yes, certainly going to be an interesting one on Friday evening down in London. But thank you to you guys. We finished the show on a slightly more sombre note. The news broke, of course, during the week about the passing of Dennis Gethin. Here's a short tribute to the special man.
Dennis Gethin, the figure who sat at the peak of Welsh rugby, but who ran it and lived it from its base. His base, Seven Sisters, perfecting kicking off both feet off the tips of the Dillais Valley. His sporting education shared with academic, neath grammar, law at Cambridge.
Here's the kicker, Dennis Gethin.
And he could play. Over 100 games for Cardiff, scoring a record equalling 199 points in the 68-69 season.
Hardly think that Dennis Gethin will miss this one.
Dry, yet warm. Authoritative, yet compassionate. Secretary of the WRU at the end of the century and president for 11 years. He would be seen on camera next to royalty, yet local eyes would see him at the grassroots, his real love, the clubs. Honours came, but his biggest honour was helping the causes close to his heart. An early advocate of the women's game, proud president of Wales Deaf and chair of the Welsh Rugby Charitable Trust, helping to raise hundreds of thousands to assist injured players.